I'm going to bring up this conversation again and again and again because we've got to take action in this. A simple scenario, you have a boat. You can enjoy that boat wherever you want, quietly fishing, skiing, whatever you want to do. However, if you want to invite your friends, it won't be the same experience. Could be better, maybe not, but it's your choice to invite your friends on your boat. But what happens when authorities or the government flies people in and drops them off on your boat? At first, you might just open up your picnic, share with others, but at some point, when your 10-person little fishing boat gets over 200 people on it, starts to crack and sink and go under. It can't hold the weight. When there's not enough resources, there simply isn't enough. And we live on an extremely abundant and beautiful planet. There is enough, but there may not be enough in one spot at the same time. That's why people are distributed. That's why people, there's space, there's time. Anytime there's a big event, there'll be a line, a queue, organization. Even when you want to demand a brand new cell phone, you're going to stand in line overnight and buy it. There's an organization to do that. And yet, what I want to look at today is the impact of having too many people without the infrastructure to hold it. So this article here is KCRA News based in Sacramento. This says that California State Grid operator says rolling blackouts are due to a shortfall in electricity. There's not enough electricity production. And as it turns out, it's something that you cannot significantly store. You make it and you use it. There's just simply not enough. Not to say that we can't build the infrastructure and welcome everybody at the same time, but there's resources that are needed to do that, and who's going to pay for those resources? So once again, if we look at this one is letting you plan. California's state grid operator says rolling blackouts are due to a shortfall in electricity supply, and it could be imminent. Well, it happened quite a bit yesterday. As Tuesday is expected to be similar to Monday with record high temperatures, major utility companies brace for possible outages. There's just not enough. Luckily, California was able to narrowly avoid rotating blackouts. That's not true. California Office of Emergency Service sent out emergency alerts to people's phones before 6 p.m. Meanwhile, I was talking to neighbors, not immediately in my block, but out another mile, who were in a blackout. It happened. And yet what's very interesting, and please listen to this point. I have multiple cell phones because I do software testing, QA testing. I have one cell phone that has a phone number associated with it. I have a number of other tools that I use that do not and have never been connected to a phone company. But I use them for Wi-Fi and other ways of testing. So I was sitting at my desk with my cell phone that's hooked to the phone company and one other demo phone that I use. And at the exact same time, this demo phone that has never been connected to a phone service, and again, listen up here, came up with the warning at the exact same time, same way. And the warning, so the question is, I'm pulling up to read it exactly here. I don't have a copy here, but I did a screenshot, so I'd have it as a reference. But it says emergency alert, severe, September 6, 5:48 p.m. Cal OES, Office of Emergency Services, which is just as the page states, conserve energy now to protect public health and safety. Extreme heat is straining the state energy grid. Power interruptions may occur unless you take action. You take action, it's your fault. Turn off or reduce non-essential power if health allows, now until 9 p.m. at night. And again, that came on my cell phone that's connected to the cell towers, and a phone that it's never had access, that came in via Wi-Fi at the exact same time. So these messages were pushed through a different methodology that's been used before. And they don't know my phone by my area. They pushed it via locality. So again, there are ways to build an infrastructure, and it costs money, but that's not where we're at right now. There isn't enough. So let's move on to this next one. What else is there not enough of? California drought. 37.2 million people in California are affected by drought. 58 counties with USDA disaster designations. It's a 60th. I don't even know what that relates to. The driest July ever was in 2022, just this year, over the past 108 years. This is severe. You can see images of what happens when the soil cracks. We have entire lakes being drained. California Drought Action, March 2022. This was before the summer. When the wells of rural communities go dry or get contaminated, the state has water delivered to them. But you have to have water to deliver to them. Weekly drought updates because it's so severe. We're not allowed to water our lawns except for 2 10-minute periods a week. That's it. That doesn't cut it when we are now at, my computer showing 89, but the temperatures actually got to 113 yesterday. That we don't have enough water. And I will argue, much like you, that you know what, it really isn't that hot, it's being manipulated. Or I will argue that a lot of our water's being wasted and it's being run off so we don't get access to it. Got it. And the power grid gets throttled. Got it. But any way you want to look at the manipulation or not, there isn't enough right now. But you know what there is enough of? Of people that are being rushed into this state to live here. Again, when your boat is full and there isn't anything else to live, to survive, it will capsize. Yes, California has many sanctuary cities that it's proud about. They want to go ahead and protect and welcome, and that's great. That's where my heart has been. But at some point, it's a manipulation. And going back to my earlier video, we are being replaced. So what we did see, a use of that term sanctuary city, and I'm going to give huge kudos again and again. In November of 2021, California's quote unquote sanctuary city, different way than us, declared itself a constitutional republic, fighting the mandates here. So Oroville Vice Mayor told the Fox News what it's doing and setting up a sanctuary city. So anybody wants to go there that doesn't want to play these games and be healthy could do that. And you know what I did? Because I don't just believe the news or follow these sources. I picked up the phone and I called that vice mayor. And you know what happened? He didn't answer the phone. Well, that's fine. But it was less than 7 minutes later and my cell phone rang. It was the vice mayor. And he thanked me for reaching out. He gave me some suggestions on what was working and how they went ahead to declare a sanctuary city, and sent kudos to somebody that we happen to know in common that neither knew of that before he reached out and returned my phone call. You try to contact your mayor and see if you even get through to leave a message, more or less have them call you back or answer the phone. Upstanding, absolutely amazing. But when there isn't enough, there isn't enough. California illegal immigration. You know, immigration is taking the resources. Your car insurance costs more. The public schools don't have enough, and now they're asking for $1,800 a year for you to send your child to public school because they don't have enough resources for all these others who are now in the system. Utilities go up, there's not enough resources, not enough jobs. Not enough housing. When the government is paying for immigrants or low income to have houses, then people who are working don't have a place to live. And there's a big distinction. There's a whole bunch of people that are in the working poor class that are hard workers, maybe even working 2 and 3 jobs to put a roof over their head and feed their family. And they find themselves out on the streets because it still isn't enough to compete with the government subsidies on one end of the welfare, and on the other end for the government subsidies of other countries, which I call HB1 visa holders. Again, No personal comment against one individual. I believe all humans are doing the best they can, but we on this planet are being manipulated, and so are they. It's human trafficking at its worst, and it won't end up well for anybody. So immigrants in California, according to the Center for Migration Studies, about 22% of immigrants in California are undocumented. And this was before these last few years. 22%. If you look around and there's 5 people, 1 in 5 is not here legally. That person is undocumented. 1 in 5. That is a massive amount. And this was before all of these recent changes. Here's some more statistics if you want to take a peek at that. It's absolutely massive. And then here's one as well. 2021 update. In fact, the article looks like it was updated again in April 2022. This is called the FAIR report. How many, and I don't appreciate this term, but how many immigrants who are undocumented live in the United States? As of the end of 2021, FAIR estimates that approximately 15.5 million people who are not contributing to our system, but rather taking from it, reside within the United States. This number is substantially higher than FAIR's previous estimate of 4.5 million in 2020. This was just a year later. The population has significantly grown. It has our utility, our infrastructure, our roads, water, electricity, food. No, in fact, that's been jellyfished away from us. How about this one? Total net cost. Yes, there is a cost. There's the cost to you and I. And look at how much it's rising. And these, my friend, estimates are very, very conservative. Based on FAIR's most recent comprehensive fiscal cost study, these individuals are likely imposing a net fiscal burden of at least $143.1 billion. That's net. I don't know what went into their gross that they subtracted out, but this is after deductions. That's an increase of approximately 9.4 billion over the past year. An alarming increase in the population can be attributed largely to 2 significant developments. One, the improvement of United States economy as it reopens after the peak. 2, a more significant factor fueling this increase is that this administration has effectively abolished the mission of U.S. immigration and customs enforcement, preventing the U.S. Customs and Border Protection from securing our southern border, implementing measures that encourage mass illegal immigration. And some of these changes include record apprehensions at both southern and northern borders. A total of more than 1.9 million were apprehended at the US border in 2021, the most on record. Hundreds of thousands of these individuals were released just right back into the country. They actually will stand at the border and wait for the border control so they can be processed, and then they say they're here legally. They know that they are not here legally. They know that we have a corrupt administration. There's awareness. And if there's any doubt on the process, you can take a look at any of Oscar Blue's videos on YouTube. Oscar Blue highlights the caravans, highlights the path, highlights what happens at the borders. He's a man on the ground documenting this. It's insane, and it's not fair. He is for migration, but he is for legal pathways and processes, not human trafficking.